Hey everybody, Aaron here. Do you ever have one of those days when nothing seems to go right? It's like one thing after another and they're like dominoes and they keep falling over, and by the end of the day you're like, what is my life even all about? Well, I recently had one of those days. In the scheme of things, it wasn't that bad of a day, but I felt pretty bad. Here's what happened. If you watch this channel, you know that I often play through this lovely Jackson Newcastle combo. 18 watts, beautiful sounding. It's perfect for me. But I've been doing a lot more YouTube stuff and a lot more home recording and stuff like that, and I've needed to isolate it, and it's just a fire hazard if you put blankets over it and stuff. And so it's been weighing on me for a while, like you gotta get a head and cabinet version of the same thing. And also, I wanted to step up to the Newcastle 30, which is 30 watts instead of 18 to get a little more clean headroom. And so I found one online. I just did a private sale with the guy. I didn't go through reverb.com or eBay or anything like that. First mistake. This guy, he took a little while to get back to me, but he seemed like a good guy, and everything, and I trusted him. I sort of weighed the pros and cons. I do buy and sell a lot of stuff, so I'm not a novice to it, and I knew that it was a little bit risky because it's not a cheap amplifier, but I pulled the trigger on it. I needed to do it, and it was kind of the right price, so I was like, okay, let's do it. Fast forward a week or so, and this is what comes in the mail. Ta-da! Wow. Okay. Okay. It's sort of a horror show in here, actually. That doesn't really inspire confidence. What in the world? So they put boxes to just fill space, but they didn't fill all the space. This is just loose in here. There it is. A little dirty, but hey, it's used. So you can sort of see my excitement there turn to despair as I open up this box, and it's just a nightmare inside of this box. I'm like, oh no, what is this gonna be? But I'm trying to keep my hopes up, my fingers are crossed. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna plug it in and it's gonna be great. And I get it into the studio and I plug it in, and then this happens. It makes that sound even when there's nothing plugged into it. Also, it smells kind of like diapers. I don't know if they used diaper material to pack it, but it smells kind of like diapers. So at this point, I'm like, okay, something has gone wrong. In addition, when I was playing through it, I noticed that it was quite a bit brighter than my amp, and I was assuming it had the same speaker mine had, which is the Celestion Gold 12-inch, which, if you know about speakers, that's like an expensive speaker. It is really nice, just the speaker that you need with the Newcastle. But I decided to open it up and see what was inside, and here's what I found. I'm gonna open this cabinet up and see what's in here. This is quite a bit brighter than mine. Okay, it says Celestion G12H 30 watt 70th anniversary special edition. So I had a couple problems. Number one, there was something wrong with the amp. I don't know if it's just tubes. I mean, there's a number of things that can go wrong with an amplifier. And then number two, it's got the wrong speaker. Fast forward a few days, I got some new tubes. I actually bought just a whole new set. I put just new preamp tubes in first, played through it, no crackling. I had this, again, going into this because I wanted to hear the Celestion Gold with it. And it worked totally great for about 10 minutes. And then I tried everything. I was like switching out cables, speaker cables, instrument cables, no pedal board, put whatever. I was like, what's happening? That was probably the low point. I was like, this amp is just broken. This amp doesn't work at all. I took a picture of my room like during this process, and it's just a total wreck. And this is like basically the emotional state that I was in. I was testing things really quickly because I wanted to solve it so bad. At the end of day one, I was just defeated. Couldn't figure it out. Went to bed, sort of depressed. I wake up the next day. I'm like, okay, let's get in there. Let's tackle this. What haven't you tried yet, Aaron? And I was convinced like this amp is broken. But one thing I hadn't tried was, did I somehow blow this speaker? So I plugged this amp back into this speaker, played through it, and no sound. Then I checked like the jacks, the soldering points between the speaker and the input jack, and then the input jack and the speaker itself. Checked everything, could not get any sound out of it. I grabbed that G12H and I put that back in there. And then I plugged it into this amp and there was sound there too. So the amp's probably fine. That Celestian Gold is like blown. I took it out, visibly looked at it. It looked totally fine. I did the battery test. You can take a 9-volt battery and put it to the terminals, the positive and negative, and you should see the speaker go in and out. And I saw nothing. So that told me there's something wrong with the speaker. The speaker's blown, the speaker's done. Looking around online, I found out that Celestian speakers actually have a 5-year warranty. I had bought it from Musician's Friend about 3 years ago. So I called them up and I was like, hey, this speaker is like blown. And the guy was like, sure, we'll send you a new one. I was like, wow, that was easy. Got that sent back to me. I ended up doing a whole set of new tubes in this just to be sure. That ended up finally solving the issue. So now I've got that Celestian Gold in here. I've actually got another one on the way because I just bought another one that I'm gonna put in here because I'm selling this amp. By the way, if you wanna buy it, it's for sale. $1,400 with the Celestian Gold in it, or if you wanna buy it with the G12H, it's $1,250 plus shipping. It works now. That's probably all I can do without royally pissing off the neighbors. The story's got a happy ending, and I was pissed for a while. I was like, this guy, ripped me off or whatever, and I was calling him and texting him, multiple times in a row, like, hey, did you ever have this problem? But at the end of the day, this guy wasn't trying to scam me. I could have probably pressed him for tubes. I could have made him pay for like a new set of tubes. But just being totally real with you guys, it was probably just the preamp tubes, which are like 15 bucks. I don't think blowing the Celestian Gold had anything to do with the new amp. I think that was just a coincidence. Those things sometimes happen. When one thing goes wrong, another thing can go wrong. And it's like, why is all this stuff going wrong? And it's easy to like blame the new thing. But I honestly think it was actually just a coincidence that the Celestian Gold just happened to blow. The number one reason that those things blow is actually because the voice coil overheats. It's probably what happened is I run mine very hot and I play it a lot and for like several hours or whatever, and that's probably what happened. It all works. It's all good. I'm stoked to be using this thing. Hey, let me know if you want to buy that one. I told my wife when I bought this one, I was like, oh yeah, I'm gonna sell this one and I'm gonna buy this one, so I need to sell this one, otherwise I'm in big trouble. Hey, that's it from me today. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed that, and we'll see you all next time.